Hi, it's Leo Sobalski here, and I'm looking at the history book saga of Little Prairie Chetwynd, and it brings back a lot of memories. This book chronicles the many families who have come and gone in Chetwynd, and on Remembrance Day it's even more important because it chronicles the lives and stories of the many people who started the Royal Canadian Legion in Chetwynd. You can find stories about Wink Wheeler, the Larsons, and Albert Flett. This book is a chronicle and a history of not just the Legion, but the entire involvement of Little Prairie in World War I and World War II. It's a must read. Remembrance Day is really sacred, so take the day off, and if you attend Remembrance Day services, you'll hear those names over and over and walk around and see the original names of the people who started the Legion. That's really incredible. Many died in the wars, but many returned to build our community and to found various institutions and agencies. Honor our past. You can do that by reading the history book of Chetwynd. Going into Remembrance Day, we had a very famous person live in Chetwynd, and he wrote his book, the late Jack Hannam. We don't have a lot of Jack's books, but this is a really wonderful book. It's called My Peaceful Journey by Jack Hannam. Jack was the first Region E rep for the Peace River Regional District, and we have a few of his books. Excellent account of the history of the regional district in the Peace River area. It's the Peace River Regional District account by Jack Hannam, the late Jack Hannam. Many of you knew him. Another thing that I would like to point out is our country is founded on the principle that you can talk out and protest. And the protest against various projects and various events has occurred over the last many years, 149 years to be precise. And one of the books that we brought in for people is the story of Clayoquot Sound. It was brought in because some people wanted to know about Clayoquot Sound and the tactics of protest that were used, and they were using the same tactics against Site C. So if you are interested and you respect the fact that in Canada we can protest and we can have opposing views to almost any event, this is an incredible book. Tzipora Berman, we did a program on her, and we have this book on hand. It's actually out of print, but I have the last 6 copies. So if you want to hear about protest and the right to protest, this is a very good resource. And it's fitting that on Remembrance Day we thank ourselves and God that we have a country where we can protest without any discrimination. Talking about discrimination and history and Remembrance Day, this is an incredible book by Frank Oberle. Frank Oberle, if you're not aware of who Frank was our Member of Parliament for many years. He came from Chetwynd. He owned the Esso station. He was the first mayor. Then he became a Member of Parliament. Then he became the Minister of Forest under the Mulrooney government. He brought Brian Mulrooney to Chetwynd, and we benefited because of Frank. This is his personal story, but it's also a chronicle of his move from Moccasin Flats, which is just over there, to Ottawa. An incredible book. If you haven't read this, your education is lacking. Read it. It's homework for each and every resident in Chetwynd. If you wish, you can come and I have a test that you could write afterwards to see how much you comprehended. Frank Oberle's book, incredible. A Chosen Path from Moccasin Flats to Parliament Hill. Phenomenal. Interesting pictures in it also. The last thing I'm going to talk about is we've got 15 of these left. My Peace Country Home, Pioneers of the Peace River. It's a must-see. We show it on TV, but you know what? Have your own personal copy. You can see Yvonne Eldon saying amazing things. A good Christmas present. But on Remembrance Day, you can look at it and say, wow, our community's come a long way. So this is Pine Tree Books, and I have a lot of books, and I've touched upon many things that are sacred to me today. The sense that our veterans and the people from the 40s and 50s have come and contributed to the fabric of our society.